Two news stories for you. Firstly, now when OLA TDF military alliance has been broken on the ground, the alliance exists no more. But OLA has expanded its area of operations. Within the past few days, we have received 4 reports which indicate that Oromo Liberation Army has expanded its presence in Oromia, Benishangul Gumuz, and Amhara region. I'll share the 4 reports with you. Secondly, Sadkan Gabratansai Tigray Janal has written an article. He has shared some suggestions for resolution to ongoing Ethiopia-Tigray conflict. He is proposing peace talks. Where should these peace talks be held? He is mentioning the place too, and he is talking about secession or otherwise. What does Tigray want? Does Tigray want to be a separate country, or does it want to be part of Ethiopia? He has spoken, rather written, on several key points in the article. I'll try to sum up this article for you. Firstly, viewers, Oromo Liberation Army, though it is going to be under a crackdown in coming days. In fact, crackdown has started in Western Oromia. But we have received several reports which confirm that Oromo Liberation Army has expanded its area of operations while TDF was trying to reach Addis Ababa and OLA had joined hands with TDF. In the meanwhile, though TDF then suffered a setback, but Oromo Liberation Army gradually expanded its presence in several parts of BG, Amhara, and Oromia. 4 reports. Firstly, just I think 1 to 2 days ago, a convoy of Amhara Special Force was ambushed in Matakal zone of BG, Benishangul Gumuz. The convoy was traveling from Bolan Woreda to Congo district. And I think 8 Amhara Special Force soldiers were killed and 11 were injured. So there is presence of Oromo Liberation Army in Benishangul Gumuz in Matakal zone. Before the start of TDF's entry in Amhara in July, there was no presence of Oromo Liberation Army in BG. Amhara forces, Amhara militias have also entered BG. I told you in previous videos that Amhara forces struck a security agreement with BG and they entered BG. So Amhara forces are in BG too, and Oromo Liberation Army has its presence in Benishangul Gumuz too. First report. Second report is Dire Deva viewers. We never heard of OLA's presence in Dire Deva. But in the past few days, we have seen at least 1 attack by Oromo Liberation Army in Dire Deva. Third report is about 2 zones, East Harage and West Harage. There was not considerable presence of Oromo Liberation Army in East and West Harage. In East Harage, OLA carried out an attack in Laga Hama area. In West Harage, they carried out an attack on Ethiopian military near Asabut. In that attack, reportedly, a federal police lieutenant was captured by Oromo Liberation Army, and some, I think more than 20 government security officials were killed. So, it has managed to penetrate East and West Harage too. And lastly, viewers, yesterday, Afar news sources claimed that Oromo Liberation Army fighters were trying to enter. They were conducting attacks in Zone 5 of Afar region through Tilalak. Tilalak is the place on Oromia Special Zone Afar border through which TDF tried to reach Mile but it could not. TDF now has withdrawn, but Oromo Liberation Army has its presence close to these places. That is why from Oromia Special Zone, Oromo Liberation Army fighters are reportedly trying to enter Afar region. So now OLA is in Oromia Special Zone, in BG, Dira Deva, East Harage, West Harage. These were not traditionally uh, places where there was significant presence of OLA. But during the course of this war, during the course of TDF's entry in South Wollo, Oromia Special Zone, Oromo Liberation Army has expanded its area of operations in Oromia, Amhara and BG. How significant is OLA as a threat to federal government? In a separate video, we'll have a look at that. OLA is still not a significant threat to federal government. We'll have a detailed look at this question. Now, secondly, viewers, Sadkan Tigray's journal has written an important article in a paper, and he is proposing solution to ongoing Ethiopia-Tigray conflict. Very candid article in which he very openly summarized this whole conflict. I want to talk about a few important points which he made in this article. Firstly, he says Tigray wants to govern its own region within a multinational federal system. So now Tigray is not talking about a referendum. If you remember, a few weeks ago, we were hearing from Sadkan, from Debretsion Gebremichael, they were talking of referendum. But Sadkan is not talking of referendum. He says that Tigray, people of Tigray want to govern themselves in a multinational federation. It means Tigray wants to remain part of Ethiopia, firstly. Secondly, he accused Russia, China, Turkey, UAE, Iran, that they played a negative role in this conflict. He says his people are suffering, they're dying. They don't have any medicine. Their diseases can be treated. They don't have medicine, they're dying. And he criticized Amhara leadership as well, that it has expansionist ideology, which is a threat to Ethiopia. He talked about the withdrawal, the reason of the withdrawal of Tigray forces as well. He says, firstly, that political and diplomatic developments could not catch up with military advance of Tigray Defense Force. TDF was advancing, but international community did not do anything. So had TDF reached Addis Ababa, it would have been useless because there was no political coalition, there was no diplomatic support from abroad to bring about a change. So that is why TDF decided to withdraw. And secondly, drones. Again, he said that the difference that drones made was substantial. That is what my position is. People sometimes don't agree with me, but I say drones were the game changer. Lastly, he is proposing peace talks in some African countries. He says that some neutral bodies should conduct these peace talks in some African country, and the peace talks should have support of international community. Kenya can play a role. International community can play a role. But PM Abiy-led dialogue in Ethiopia wouldn't serve any purpose. Ethiopian government is not expected to invite TPLF to the upcoming national dialogue. Even if it invites, it seems that TPLF is rejecting this upcoming dialogue. It wants some regional, international players to be part of this dialogue. Will Ethiopian government agree to this proposal of General Sadkan? That remains to be seen, viewers. Thank you for watching.